You know that feeling when you open your inbox and find another Google review from a happy client? Well, we feel the same way when our listeners leave a review on Apple Podcasts for our show.
It's honestly so helpful because reviews give you the words straight from your client's mouth that impacts the way you run your business going forward. And the same is true for us.
Yeah, when we read your reviews, it helps us understand what you love and what you want more of, which makes the show better in return. And really, everyone wins here.
So before you listen to today's episode, could you take 1 minute and leave us a 5-star review and tell us one thing you're loving about the show? We promise we'll be here ready to chat when you're done.
And after leaving that review, make sure you screenshot it and send it to support@modernagentsocialclub.com with your mailing address because we have a fun little surprise for you as a way to say thank you.
XOXO, the marketing girls. We have cameras in our house, so I pulled up the camera to see who left the door open. Neither one of us could remember. I don't remember leaving the door. Anyways, it was him.
Maybe you're just a person that's I can't take this boob sweat anymore.
I have so much things in my brain. Okay, I need to do that deep breathing exercise.
In and out, in and out. That saved my brain so many calories. How do I get more leads?
How do I stand out in my market?
Is it unprofessional to talk about my kids on Instagram?
Should I have one account or two?
Do I really need a personal brand as a real estate agent?
We are the Modern Agent Marketing Girls. We are 2 agents turned marketing experts who believe you can become the go-to real estate girl in your market all because you are you. I'm Chelsea Peterson, founder and CEO of Modern Agent Social Club.
And I'm Kayla Fox, Modern Agent's content creator. Let us be your guide as we talk about what it means to market your real estate business the modern way.
So refill your favorite beverage, open your notes app, and get ready to build a business and a brand you're obsessed with. Let's go. Hi, Kayla.
Hi, Chelsea. Welcome back to another episode of the Marketing Girls podcast. How are we?
I'm good. We are in the smack dab middle of summer, and I'm just trying to do every single summer activity that I can.
Yeah, me too. My husband has a Jeep and he takes all the tops and doors off and stuff during the summer. And we went on a ride the other day and literally probably 10 times while we drove around, I would tap him and I'd be like, I love summer. I'm so happy right now. He was like, you're such a dork. But I do. I geek out over it.
What is your go-to activity in the summer?
Anything just to be outside. I work on my porch a lot. My neighbors have a pool. My parents have a pool. So we're over there all the time. Yeah, just any excuse to be outside. Riding around in the Jeep, that's become one of our family's favorite things. Even though we don't all actually fit in the Jeep. So we have to either Brett and I go and leave the kids at home, or he'll take the kids and I'll get some time alone or whatever. But
you take turns it's a ride at a amusement park.
There's been times we've literally done that because he'll get home from taking the kids and then some of the neighbor kids are out and they're like, well, we want to ride in it. So he's like, well, hop on in.
That's so fun.
Yeah, he'll do it for sure.
Last week, I always have my summer events I want to go to and all the things. And the Stomach Market has these farm nights, which I'm sure I've talked about before. And there's one per month through the summer and it goes through September. Well, we were scheduled to go this last Thursday, but Henry was sick. And I'm like, I feel like someone always gets sick in the summer. I know you had a sick kid during the 4th of July. It's just such a bummer. But we just made the most of it. And he went to bed early. Henry went to bed early. So Mark and I went and sat on our front porch, which I bought these 2 chairs because I was like, I'm going to sit on the porch every day. I never sit on the porch. I don't know why. And we sat on the porch, had a glass of wine. And then we went and watched The Summer I Turned Pretty. I'm sure he loved watching that in the basement. So we go outside and one of us leaves the door open, the screen door. And we come back in and there's tons of moths in our house because it got dark while we were sitting out there. And Mark's like, did you leave the door open? And I was like, I don't think so. And then we have we have cameras in our house. So I pulled up the camera to see who left the door open. Neither one of us could remember. I don't remember leaving the door. Anyways, it was him. But there was moss in our house. So he's killing the bugs. And I'm like, I just don't feel like I can relax right here. Can we just go in the basement? So we go in the basement and watch The Summer I Turned Pretty. But we will talk about that soon. And it was just such a nice night that would have typically had an event, which is fun, right? But it was kind of nice to have this summer night at home.
Yeah.
Just chill. Something, it still felt summery, but it wasn't go, go, go. Yep. So that was kind of nice.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, I'm on a mission right now to try to do something to our backyard. We've got a huge backyard, but we have no shade and we're in the sun most of the time. And I'm I want to just hang out here, but it's too hot in the summer. And so my husband's always oh, we're fine. We don't need that. But I'm you say that, but the moment we get it, you'll be out there all the time. So hopefully someday we can get some kind of cool deck, patio, shade, a fan.
Optimize the backyard, make the most of
Yes.
summer. This
Let's
all
just use
really
it.
ties into, like, perfect segue. We always need a segue.
Yes.
Perfect segue into our topic today, which is if social media were easy, what would it look like?
Yeah, isn't that what everyone wants this time of year, especially? Like, all the chaos of everyone being home, things being hot. I almost like, I don't know about you, but when I'm working inside, I'm looking out my window thinking I should be outside. I should be enjoying this. And there's like this pressure to like soak in all of the season has to offer, especially before school starts and all of that. So it's like, how can you like simplify things so that you can still have a life, still enjoy your life, but also be productive?
So here's my answer.
Let's hear
Bring
it.
your laptop outside
Oh, yes.
and
Yes.
record yourself working and then turn it into content. No, I'm just kidding. But let's talk about, like, what does easy really mean?
Yeah.
Because I love the question, if this were easy, what would it look like? We ask ourselves that all the time when we're creating like strategies for our members, when we're talking about marketing plans, we're talking about our own website, like how, if this were easy, what would it look like? But when we say easy, it doesn't necessarily mean like effortless. Like easy is still going to require some type of action on your part. But what it kind of does is it flips it around where instead of making it feel really stressful, it feels intentional so that you're
Yeah.
not just scrolling away hours and hours on Instagram and thinking you got nothing done, or you spent all this time on a piece of content for it to fall flat. And you're like, well, this is hard. This is taking too much time. When I say easy, it still requires effort, but it requires, I think, when you have focused effort, that in turn makes it feel a lot less stressful, a lot easier because you have this, I guess you have a goal, you have a plan, you have something that you're following that's going to make it not feel so overwhelming.
Yeah. Well, it's about living more in alignment, right? Like I think about people, like think about like I don't know, I'm all in football season right now because it's what we're doing in my life, but I watch these players like throw the ball, tackle, catch the ball, run it into the end zone so effortlessly. And I'm like, well, I could not do any of those things that they're doing, but you know why they can do it? Because some of it comes natural to them. They put in a lot of practice, and now catching a ball when there's five guys on you into the end zone, it's not as difficult as what it would be for me, right? Where people like some of my friends look at me and they're like, I don't know how you can talk on a podcast. I don't know how you have your face on camera. Like, but it's easy to me because it aligns with my personality. I'm used to it. I've practiced all of those things. So when we say if this was easy, what would it look like? That answer is going to be different for everybody. But I think you have to think about like what first of all comes naturally to you, what feels good to you, but also where do those things intersect with your goals and like how do you still like go aligned, because it's real easy for me to go take a nap on the couch or go lay in my hammock but that doesn't necessarily get me where I want to go, right?
Right. When I first started doing live video, I was so nervous and I did them inside of a private Facebook group, but I like teaching. So like every year in my little school planner, my mom asked, "What do you want to be?" And she would like keep track of all my things. I was a teacher every single year. And then I got old enough and I was like, I don't want to live at school. So no, I don't
Yep.
want to be a teacher. But I feel like that's in my blood in some way. So I like that's my passion overpowered my like fear of getting on camera. But I remember like pumping myself up. Like I would play music, I would like get up and like walk around. I didn't do this, but you know how they say to do like the Superman pose for confidence or
Yes.
stand like that. But I would like kind of shake. And this was in 2018 and I would do these live videos in my private Facebook group. So it wasn't even like public to the world, although one time I did hit the wrong thing and went live on my personal page. That was fun. But seriously, I want to say by the fifth time I did a live video, that was completely gone. But it never would have gone away if I didn't keep doing it. So like I knew that it was something that was important. I knew that it aligned with my goals and like what needed to happen to build trust and things like that,
Yeah.
where I powered through and I wanted to get better. And the other thing I've always done that I think really helps is I reverse engineer everything. So like if I thought someone did a really good job on a training, I will like look at it and be like, well, what did they say in the beginning? What order did they teach this in? What questions did they ask? How do they make me feel involved? Like I'm literally studying and taking notes. I'm not copying the training. I'm just copying the, I guess, like the framework or the flow or she sat like this, or like this was the background. This was how she brought people in, whatever it is. And that helps a lot. Like it's looking at things that you attract you or that you really enjoyed and thinking like, how can I kind of learn from that and pull it into what I'm about to do. So like I always say too, like you can start something so simply, like it might not be you teaching a 30-minute class live for sellers, but maybe for now it's like getting on your Instagram stories in your car once a week or every Monday and sharing about your weekend or sharing what you're doing this coming weekend. And to you, that starts to feel very easy. And I want to say too, this should also feel fun because if you're not having fun doing it, no one's going to have fun consuming it.
Yeah. 100%. You say that about always saying that you wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a teacher too when I was younger, but when I was really little, I remember one gift that I got. They always say, you don't remember the presents that you got. I remember one. I got like a microphone stand. It was like had like pedals so I could like applause after I would say something, but there was like a little like speaker and like it had a couple other features. But I remember getting that gift for like Christmas or something, and I would like stand in front of my parents' bedroom mirror and I would, no joke, pretend I was like Bob Barker because that's like the only like person that I saw with like a tall microphone. But I remember thinking like it was so cool. And then as I got older, I remember thinking like it'd be cool to like interview people, like just to get to like
Oh
brush
my
shoulders with
gosh.
people. And isn't that so funny? Because now I'm like, this is like the best job ever. I was
Full
like
circle.
made to podcast. Yes. Anyway, enough about me. Yes, I do feel like it should be easy. It should be fun. People are able to pick up on whether or not you're enjoying something, whether or not you're forcing yourself to do something or not, right? So that like how can we get you doing things that have people thinking like, wow, like she's loving her job, she's doing really well, all of those things, even if you're not selling a lot of real estate right now, all of that. One thing that I will just say is I feel like we get this question all the time whenever we talk about like a recording idea or a reel idea or a story idea or anything. We get the question, well, what equipment are you using? What apps are you using? And, here's the bottom line. There's all sorts of options out there and you can find what you like and you can run with it. You and I have never done that. Like everything that we've ever done has been like recorded. Well, podcast we record in Riverside, but for Instagram, it's all done in Instagram or Canva. We don't use CapCut. We don't use InShot. We don't do any of those other things. Those resources are all there for you if that's something that you're really interested in. I frankly think it would be kind of fun to learn how to do that. But guess what? That would make it more complicated and we don't have time for that. Like our output is not our full-time job. We have a lot more work going on behind the scenes that I want to focus on. So you don't need more equipment. You don't need more like apps or anything. You don't need a fancier CRM. Like the answer to your problems, and I think I said this in last week's episode, the answer to your problems is never on the other side of a PDF or of an app or whatever. Like it always starts with you. Like what's going on with you? I'd listened to a book recently called Wealthy and Well Known by Rory. Is it Rory Vaden? Is that his name? And there's so many like good quotes in there. But the one thing he talked about is how like people look to be creative by looking at what other people are doing. But really like the thing that makes you unique is in you. So instead of looking like from the outside in, look from the inside out. And that's going to be your secret sauce. That's going to be the thing that like makes you stand apart. And I just thought like, if that couldn't be more aligned with Modern Agent, I don't know what is.
It's so funny though, because we're so close to our own life, our own expertise, our own everything. Sometimes it's literally staring us in the face and we don't even notice. Like I remember one day telling Mark, like, what is my UVP? Like listen to a podcast.
Wait,
And
what's a
he's like,
UVP?
Like
Should I know
unique
this?
value proposition.
Oh,
And it
yeah,
was
okay.
telling me to like lead with that. Basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Like lead with your own talent or whatever. And I was like, well, like what is ours? And he's like, a personality infused marketing strategy. And I was like, oh yeah, duh. Obviously. I'm like,
Yeah.
why? Like, again, it's not complicated, but it is
No.
interesting sometimes how we like get ourselves stuck in these places where we're like, I don't have anything. Like, honestly, like one of my favorite ways to use ChatGPT is to like have it get me to answer questions and then it will like tell me like my answer. Like, how do I figure out my personal brand? And then like, ask it questions like to ask yourself that you kind of almost journal into ChatGPT. Like, how do you spend, like, what is your ideal Saturday? So I just sent myself an email in the middle of the night the other day that said, ask clients, what is your ideal Saturday? Because I feel like it opens up so much into like what kind of life you want to live. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
what is your Saturday. Like maybe you spend it at soccer games all day. Maybe that's not ideal. That could be part of it. But like, what is your ideal Saturday? Like, what would you
Such a
do?
good question.
I know. And then it's this like question is following me around. So then I like shared it on our Instagram stories on the Modern Agent account. And I'm like, what's your ideal Saturday? And then I saw Cheese Gal, one of my favorite people to follow on Instagram. She shared a clip of her morning and said, my ideal Saturday, overcast, only light or lamps only lighting, in pajamas till at least 10 a.m. and watching a movie from my childhood with the girls or something like that. And I'm like, oh my God, the ideal Saturday. Everyone has their ideal
Yep.
Saturday. So how can you use that? I guess is my point is like that is a really good peek into potentially what type of content you might want to share on Instagram, how you want to bring something into your brand that feels like it fits. And what I love about asking a buyer and a seller client or like a future client this question in a questionnaire is it's going to tell you how they spend their time. It's going to tell you how you can relate to them. Like you might have someone that they say they would love to just be at home all day. And then you have someone that would love to be like out and about, like going to the farmer's market and a workout class and shopping and lunch. Like that alone is going to give you insight into their personality. So like maybe that person, maybe they want to live closer to like all the action versus the person who's like, I want to be at home and garden and never leave my house. They might want a nice yard. Like just think about that difference. Like if I was your client, I would be like, wow, like that is instead of asking me what my price range is, what's my timeline, those are obviously important questions. When you're
Yes.
trying to get to know someone, digging into their lifestyle and then like telling them why, like you will impress that person by asking that question. And it will help you like cater your experience with them to be a little bit more custom to like what they are actually looking for in a house.
Yeah. I love that so much. Okay, so this is kind of a funny story, but I have to share this real quick. Talking about like if this were easy, what would it look like? I think that also includes knowing where to ask for help or knowing like what get some things off of your plate, okay? So why I'm laughing right now is because Spring Green is here working on my yard. Now, I've got a husband who thinks our yard is fine. Our yard is not fine, okay? It needs a little love. So last week I was like getting ready to go get some fertilizer and like do some things because my husband mows the yard and everything, but like he doesn't really care about like random like patches of whatever. I do. And as I was getting ready to do this, I remember thinking like, wait a minute, like why am I spending my precious time working on a yard when like I could pay someone to do this and like I don't even have to think about it. They're just going to come and take care of it for me. So I scheduled it and thankfully the first day that they're coming is today, which my husband's at football camp for a few days. So he's not even going to know what happened. I'm going to feel really good about the yard. It's one thing that I don't have to think about. Like talk about like if this were easy, what would it look like? It means hiring Spring Green for a moment.
100%. Outsource what sucks away your energy.
Outsource. Yes. It's so funny. Last year or 2 years ago now, I think it's been 2 years, I hired a cleaning lady to come every other week. And I felt like kind of bad about it because I'm like, I'm home, right? But I'm working from home. And I remember the very first time I hired her and she came, I literally had a closing that morning and I like went and made like $10,000. And I remember thinking like that was a much better use of my time than staying home and cleaning my house. And so it makes you like value those things. And then I've given her name to other people over time. I actually another coach's wife just told me a couple days ago, like I finally like I hired her, like, oh my gosh, like I was so much nicer to my family that whole weekend because my house was clean. And I'm like, that's what they don't tell you. Like, it's not about having a clean house. It's about not having to think about that. Like, talk about like adding a little bit of ease to your life. So in what ways can you add a little bit of support to your life? If that means getting something off your plate, if that means asking for a babysitter, if that means hiring a lawn service, whatever that looks like that's not a cost, right? That's an investment. And that's a great use of your time. And like the payoff on those things are huge.
My favorite quote is time is money. I think I learned that from my dad, but it is in every capacity, like time is money. So everything that you add to your calendar, to your to-do list, to your whatever is taking away from something in some way. And that's why we're so passionate about marketing the modern way because for example, like last week, Henry's sick. I didn't have childcare. He's home with me. He's glued to my side. I could still send my email. I could still post on social media. I still had things running in the background that I had previously set up, like many chat automations, getting people on our email list. Like my business wasn't stopping because my kid got sick. I didn't have to, like, I know real estate's different, but like you wouldn't have had to cancel an open house if, if that was your main strategy for getting clients, your whole weekend would have been wiped out. Like, how can you put enough things in place that aren't trading time for money? And then, yes, there is some time that goes into social media and email marketing and all the things that we talk about, but a lot of it is done by your design on your timeline, not someone else's, not from 10 to 12 when you'd rather be going to church with your family, or you'd rather be going to the family like get together out on the lake, like in the summer, like, and now you're going to be gone all day. And I always say too, like when I was an agent, I'm not saying open houses couldn't be effective or things like that, but my whole thing was I'm already spending time away, showing houses, going to closings, going to inspections. I already had this big chunk of time where I'm out of the house. I don't want to keep adding to that chunk of time.
Right.
Like, I want to make the most of my time and make it work for me and be able to attract the best clients that are the right fit versus constantly like, when I paid for Zillow leads, like, oh my gosh, like so many times that I wasted jumping, showing a house, jumping, showing a house, someone who would never talk to me again. And you could say that I maybe should have had better systems in place. I should have. That was year one. Okay. But still, I hated it. I hated my life. I hated when I had to do that. I was afraid. Like, I didn't like feeling like, oh my gosh, there's this black van with no windows that pulled up outside. My dad always told me, don't get in a van without windows.
Yeah.
Like, well, like, who is this?
Good
Whatever.
life
That
advice.
family ended up being amazing. But anyways, like, it's just like all the things, like all that stress that it created that kind of took away from what I could have been doing, in my own way, which is what I ended up doing, that worked so much better. So again, we're never here to say you can't do something or like,
No.
that will never work. But it's like, we want to help you build a life that you love, because your business is a humongous part of your life. It really is. Like, and so the way you structure it, the way you set it up, the way you operate, the more you can make that work for you, the better your life is going to be. Like, everything connects. It's not like we have this 9 to 5 where we go to work and then we come home. Like, you have the opportunity to build it how you want it. And I think that's like the coolest thing ever.
It's about, and it's so cliche, but it's about working smarter, not harder, right? And so, like, obviously we're saying, like, get support systems and all of that. And obviously we could easily say here, like, join Modern Agent, but because that could help you too. But also, like, how many times do we overlook the tools that we already have? Years ago, I bought, like, a robot vacuum back when they, like, kind of first came out and were kind of a thing, and used it all the time for a while. When we moved to this house, I quit using it because we got in a new couch and it kept getting stuck under the couch. But I remember at one point thinking, like, all I have to do is like set up a little barrier and it can at least do my kitchen. And like, it's either going to collect dust in my pantry or it's going to help me collect dust in my house. Like, which one am I going to do? And at some point you have to make that choice. Like, how can I actually like use this? But yeah, like, even this is so elementary, but like, use your cell phone. Again, it's like people think like, oh, well, I need to prepare some pop buys, or I need to like get postcards ready or flyers, all that. Or you could just post something on your phone and you could share like, this is what I'm doing today, whatever. Like, that's literally how I grew my business. And listen, I'm never going to sit here and say I was a top producing agent, but to think about the fact that I was able to sit on my couch every morning with 4 kids crawling all over me, one of them starting kindergarten, balancing all the things, my husband being gone all the time with football, and I was able to post my way to closings, that like blows my mind. And not only did I get closings from doing that, but also those people immediately all turned around and told someone else about me. You know what I mean? Like, it did not take that much effort. I tell you, I never hosted a single open house for one other agent, ever.
It also didn't take that much time, but I want to talk about this
No.
because so Kayla and I have had this conversation before, and I said 2 things with Kayla that maybe are different than someone listening. I feel like she just got social media. She had her own business prior as a hairstylist, so she kind of got it. But at one point along the way, you had to learn it.
Yes.
So at one point along the way, you learned it and you implemented and you did the work to get there to where like I can sit on my couch and post this. If anyone can figure out how to post something, anyone. Like, don't tell me that you can't. You can. I just saw this whole list of like, shoot, I should look it up. It was like when women started their businesses, like I'm talking massive businesses. And it was like age 52, age 48, age 63. Like, I'll find the list somehow and put it in the show notes because I know this is kind of like a dumb example. But the point is that you're not too old, you're not too late, you're not too anything, you're not too slow, you're not too social media anti, like, you can figure this out. The other thing Kayla had was she had a big community involvement piece. Her husband is a football coach. She's very involved in her kids' school. She's very involved with her husband's school. But again, I will tell you this, as a local real estate agent, you should be involved in your community in some capacity.
Yes.
Maybe your husband's not a football coach, maybe your kids aren't in school yet, but you can do other things, and we could go on and on about that topic. But the point is, both of those two things that she had are so doable for anyone. I mean, you can go even going to one local event a month and then like documenting it and putting it in a post or on your stories. Now you're involved in your community. Going out to eat once a month for a date night, documenting it, putting it in your stories or in a post. Now you're involved in your community. Like, you're going to start to be recognized in your community when you do these things. So it doesn't require this big, massive, like, oh, I better host this huge event, or I better go bring all the teachers gifts at school. Can you do that? Sure. That's nice. That's great. But you don't have to do these big, grand gestures. It's just
Right.
being a part of your community. It's being sitting on your couch and posting the dang thing. I mean, you can start with, here, we'll give you something really easy. Go in your camera roll right now and find 10 photos. If you can't find 10, find 30. My new rule from BTL Copy. Find 10 photos from your summer, a mix of business, personal, and local. And if you don't have something local, then go get ice cream tonight. And there you go. Your kids will be so happy. And post it and share my summer camera roll as a city name realtor. That's nothing exciting. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing that out of the box, but it's going to let people get in and get to know you. And you literally did nothing except you took that picture at one point, right? So like, that's how we need to be thinking about social media. It can be more intentional and less stressful when we're just using what we have. We don't need, so we've already checked off, we don't need fancy equipment. We don't
No.
need to take a new picture or video every time you post something. You don't need professional photos. I mean, like, oh my
Right.
gosh, you could get started so fast with what you already have, and you don't need anything. You really don't need
No.
anything.
You don't need a new app or nothing at all. You don't need a scheduling system. Like, literally, like, when you're ready to post something, just post it. Okay, all of this really boils down to the fact that just as humans, not even as business owners, but as humans, we have to make so many decisions every single day. And like, decision fatigue is real. So like, even like, I mean, the moment I wake up in the morning, or even before I wake up in the morning, it's a matter of like, do I wake up early and start working before the kids get out of bed? Or do I sleep in and get a little bit of extra rest and do whatever? You know, are they allowed to do technology today? Or are they not going to? Are we going to go play with friends, or are we not going to? Am I going to work all morning and then have the afternoon off? So many decisions. And I love the lazy genius. So she's going to be on our podcast someday. I'm just going to put that out there. I put realtor Caitlin out there and she came on ours. So Kendra Adachi, we're going to have you on our podcast. You're going to help us lazy genius modern marketing. Okay. But one of the things that Kendra talks about is how one of the first rules of like being a lazy genius is to decide once. Like, make a decision one time and that's your thing. This can look different for a lot of people. For a couple like non-real estate examples, for myself, it was like school lunches, okay? My kids didn't like school lunch. They wanted me to pack their lunch. I like to make them dinner, sure, but like lunches are kind of hard. They don't have like microwaves. They heat things up or whatever. I'm not joking. Almost every single day, my kids would get like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. They would get maybe an apple, and they would get like a package of crackers and a juice box. Like, my goal for lunch was not for that to be the most nutritious meal of their whole day. My goal was to not have to think about it at all, because in the morning I'm already thinking about 57 other things. Plus I'm trying to get them out the door. Plus I'm trying to like let my dog out, but also I have to start work, like all the things. By deciding one time that is what their lunches looked like, that saved my brain so many calories, right? Another way to do it too, and I started doing this during football season and it made like a huge difference, is like decide once what you're going to have for dinner every night of the week, and that's what you're going to have for like the season. I'm not into 5 o'clock rolls around and me Pinteresting, different recipes. Okay. Like, it's going to probably be ready. Hopefully 1 week I'll have made enough that I can like freeze some of it and that's what we can have the next week. But like, I don't need to make that decision. One of my favorite things that came of this was Sunday nights for dinner. Get this. Sunday nights for dinner, we have popcorn and strawberries. And that's like literally our dinner. If you want more than that, you can go to the pantry, but that is what I'm making. And you know what? My kids love it. They love
That
it.
is hilarious.
Yes. So how can you decide once in your marketing? Maybe that means that you have already decided that from here until school starts, I'm only posting 2 times a week. And I'm going to post just 2 carousels that are already done for me. And I just have to put my face in, and that's all I'm going to be able to do. Do that. Don't start scrolling and thinking, oh gosh, there's this trend going around. I better do this, or I need to record this, or now I don't have pictures for this. No, you're going to decide once and you're going to stick with it for a period of time. Then you can reassess as time goes on. But I feel like that would save you from so much decision fatigue and help you get even more clear on your goals because you're not distracted by 5 million other things, right?
Do you ever get to the end of a podcast episode and feel like, ugh, now I have to wait until next Tuesday for more?
Are you asking me or our listeners?
I mean, I was asking our listeners, but now I'm curious. Do you feel that way too?
Honestly, I might. I mean, if it weren't for Modern Agent Social Club, because members get to be in the middle of marketing conversations like this every single day.
That's true. For our members, it's basically Marketing Girl Summer.
Exactly. Sun's out, strategy's out.
So if you love the podcast, maybe you've already started trying a few things and you're seeing results, but just imagine how much more momentum you could build inside the club.
Because the podcast is where we talk strategy, but inside Modern Agent Social Club, of course, you're going to get great content, as I do say so myself. But more than that, you're going to get a results-driven marketing plan.
Carousels and reel prompts and emails, it's all great, but how do they all work together to make you the real estate go-to girl? That's why we provide you with an entire marketing system so you don't have to figure out how all these pieces connect.
So if you're tired of waiting a whole week between episodes and you're tired of DIYing your real estate marketing, make this your most fun and productive summer yet.
And join us today at modernagentsocialclub.com for your first official Marketing Girl Summer. Now back to the show. You know what's funny about both of the examples you just gave? The things that make people think that that's not okay is scrolling social media.
Yeah.
Because you'll see parents making fancy lunches with cutout shaped fruit and cut out sandwiches and making sandwiches into bears or making them aesthetically pleasing. You guys, these people are probably lifestyle bloggers. They are not running businesses that is not related to their life being documented on every level. And the example about dinner, it's you're seeing all these fancy, amazing, healthy, blah, blah, blah dinners. We started doing the dinner thing. I think this is from Lazy Genius, and I can't think of what she calls it, but you theme
the
your
meal matrix.
The meal matrix.
Yes.
You theme your days. So
Yeah.
Meatless Monday, Taco Tuesday. I love tacos. Why not just have them every Tuesday? We repeat the same meals over and over and over. I have gone through phases this last 6 months where I've cooked a lot, but in summer, that has fallen off the wagon. I still have to eat dinner, right? So how do you make it easy on yourself? With posting, one of our favorite things and also most effective is to pick one thing that you repeat. We call it a signature series because that's a fun little name because it is your signature series, but it's something that you can repeat over and over that you come to be known for. And it can be something really simple, here's a carousel example version. You're going to do weekly homeowner tips. And we do these in the Modern Agent membership. We have this post and it's a collection of random tips that are related to home. So one might be more market related. One might be more get a tomato basil candle from Anthropology to make your house smell like a Nancy Meyers movie.
Right.
It could be play this playlist. It could a collection of things that have to do with home. So they're not all related to sell your house today because no one's logging onto Instagram to figure out how to sell their house today. They're logging on there to be entertained, to laugh, to connect, to feel seen, to feel heard, all those things. So when you're posting content, if you can kind of think that way, what else would someone want to see? And giving your own personal recommendation as part of that carousel. So you pick your 5 carousel topics for weekly homeowner tips, a homey item I love. It could be something that I listen to, a podcast. It could be, or a playlist. It could be getting fresh flowers. What 5 things you want to put in your weekly homeowner tip and then pop it into the categories. We've been doing our new Modern Agent Confidential email like this where we have categories and I do change them out based on of course I always change my mind. So I want to keep it fresh, but they're essentially the same. And I'll call one week it was 4th of July and I said what to post before you go watch fireworks. But basically the category is what to post this week. So and if you want to get on the list for that, go to modernagentsocialclub.com/email. It is the best email you will receive in your inbox. I will stand by that. But what my point is it's easy to create and stick to because I'm not every week trying to reinvent the wheel of like, how much should I talk about this week? Like, I don't know what I should send an email about. It has simplified my email creation 100 times than what it used to be because I used to come up with like a cool story, which I like doing or whatever. Now I can still put that in if I want, if it comes to me, but I have a framework, like giving yourself that framework of on Tuesday, I post this.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday, I post the same, not the same post, the same category. It could be like if it's something local related, like my city name go to of the week, and you pick one spot, and it could be the post office. Look how cute our post office is. Like on a mission to find the world's cutest post office. It's in my own town.
Right.
Like, I mean,
Exactly.
seriously, it can be so simple. It could be that you got ice cream. It could be that you went to the hardware store. Like local is local. It doesn't have to be like related to spending money. It could be like a drive that you love. Oh my gosh, every once a week we will go on a drive to a coffee shop and take like a cool little route. And I'm like, it's just the most peaceful drive. We'll play like the Shannon and Ryan Tripp podcast, which they haven't had any new episodes lately, which is so sad. But like we'll just like it's again your routine. So when you give yourself a routine for your content, it becomes easy and it gets fun because like when you give yourself that thing to repeat and you kind of pull your personality in, like for the weekly homeowner tip example, you're giving something that has to do with you, right? Like something that you personally love in your home or something that you bought that you enjoy or something that you did as like maybe you do pizza night with like homemade pizza night with the family on the patio every Friday and you share that as a weekly homeowner tip. Like make homemade pizza and eat it on the patio. That's a fun, valuable, I feel seen tip, you know?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
having fun with your content is what's going to make your content so exciting for people to see without it being hard to create.
Yeah. And that's such a great point right there. Content that is great to consume, that's not hard to create. Let's talk about email again. Okay. You mentioned that. Here's the deal. If you want to really make your life easier, think of it this way. Posting on Instagram, we love it. Okay. We're big fans over here. However, all of us know that the majority of our followers are not going to see the majority of our posts. Okay. Sometimes it does feel like throwing spaghetti at the wall, even though those pieces of content can still be powerful, even though they can still convert, connect, all of those things. We're all for it. You want to talk about getting really good ROI on any effort that you put into your marketing this summer? Send an email, nurture your email list, grow your email list, start your email list. Like if you have not done that yet, that's the only thing that you need to do after this episode, because every time that you send an email, whoever has signed up for that is going to see your name on that list. And they might not open every single one, but they're still being reminded, oh, that's Chelsea. She's an agent. Oh, that's Kayla. She's doing that. Like that is the whole point, right? To stay top of mind. When you are sending those emails, you're not just sending, here's this week's interest rates or here's a homeowner tip, but you're sending stories. You're sending relatability, kind of like sign up for Modern Agent Confidential if for nothing else, just to look at the format of it and recreate it for yourself, for your people. Reverse engineer it and just share 3 screenshots I saved this week or the 2 links to the one thing I added to my cart, whatever it is.
The article every homeowner needs to read.
Yes. Share those things. And that, I just feel like that's such a low effort, but huge payoff thing that you could be doing, especially this summer in the middle of a busy season, all of that. There's so much pressure I think we put on ourselves to what am I going to call my email list or how am I going to get all these people? Listen. If you don't have access to any guides or anything yet, all you're going to do today is you're going to go on Canva and you're going to make a 1-page PDF that says something like the 5 things to do before school starts in Columbia City. Okay. And then you're going to share that. And then before you save it, just add a little cover photo, add a picture of something in your city, add whatever. So that way it's at least 2 pages. That's your guide. That's your PDF. That's what you're going to do. Then you're going to go on Flowdesk. You can make a landing page on Flowdesk in less than 5 minutes. I'm not joking.
I think you could make it in less than 30 seconds.
Less than 30 seconds. It is literally a matter of 3 clicks. And then you're good to go. Now you have something to give to people. And then you're just going to talk about it all the time. Talk about it all the time. For the next 2 weeks, that is all you're going to do. I guarantee you could at least get 25 people on your email list. And those 25 people are going to sign up because they already like you, they already trust you, and they want what you have. Now, those 25 people, think about this. If those 25 people start getting an email from you, let's just say every other week. We're not doing that every month thing because that means you're only getting in front of people 12 times. If you can get in front of them 24 times a year, and you have a subject line that's even remotely interesting, if you want really good subject lines and you don't have access to our stuff, go to Maha Copy Co. and they've got a whole like freebie of like 250 really great subject lines. Go there, do that, and you are setting yourself up for success. And those, what did we say, 25 people? Those 25 people are now probably going to at least forward your email to one friend, or they're going to talk about it somewhere. Or if they're going to be out for dinner, they're going to say, no, Kayla just talked about this. I'm going to pull it up, and they're going to pull up your, like, it is going to be a resource. It is going to be a lifeline. It is going to be the way that you get people in your community to market for you. And that is how you grow a business on a flywheel, not a hamster wheel. Your life is so much easier.
And we will see you next
all
Tuesday.
Around, everybody.
I'm just kidding. We're not done yet. But mic drop. That is all you need. Okay, let's forget social media. No, I'm just kidding. It's seriously so true. Email is so powerful when done right. You don't want someone to fully do it for you. What did someone just tell us about our emails? I have it saved. I need to find it. We might need to pause this. They said, I think you miss your calling as an author. Your emails are seriously so good. This is what one of our members who used our emails at Modern Agent got that message from a person on their email list.
Yes.
So our members using our emails sent it out weekly. They got that response because the person keeps opening their emails. So I want to go back to the number of 25 people too, because that's a small number. Like 25 people is so manageable to get on your email list in 2 weeks if you put the effort into it.
Yep.
And it's not that much effort. Remember, it's like 5-minute landing page, 10-minute Canva graphic. You can even search in the Canva designs like local guide. I don't know. I'm sure they have that in there. They have everything. And then plug in your brand colors, plug in your font, do a little about me blurb at the end. Like, hey, I'm Chelsea. I help sellers I have really good seller quotes right now, but I'm not going to. Okay. Anyways, I have so much things in my brain. Okay. I need to do that deep reading exercise. Going back to what I was about to say, though, is you send that email, 25 people. Remember the statistic. We say this all the time. Only 15% of the people you know are going to move in the next 12 months, but 100% of the people you know will know someone moving in the next 12 months. So those 25 people all will know someone in the next 12 months who are moving. Are they going to remember to say your name if the topic comes up? Are they going to remember to tell like, oh my God, you have to use Chelsea. Oh my God, like you should read her emails. You're going to learn everything you need to know about blah, blah, blah. Like,
yeah. And recreating a trend isn't going to be the thing that makes them think of you.
No, I actually have that as a quote in my notes. It says, if social media were easy, you'd stop chasing trends and start building trust.
I mean, literally, that should feel like a weight off your shoulders. Like, it shouldn't feel like, oh no, I've been doing it wrong. It should feel like I don't have to do that anymore. I can actually create my own brand. I can use my own content. I can use my own voice, my own experience, and be that much more powerful. And then when you do that, you don't even have to post every day. Like, again, go back to posting twice a week, hop on your stories for a minute every day, and send an email every other week.
You will grow your business.
I guarantee you'll grow your business. We should have like a piece of that pie. We should have, what is that called when they start getting success from our advice, and we should get like a piece of their commission?
Like we're the investors.
Yes. Like I'll just take 1% of your business.
Yes. We should figure that out.
I know.
Okay, so I wrote this quote down. I've been really into like with AI and where things are going and being aware of like how is that going to affect our businesses? How is that going to affect the way we market, especially in a modern sense? And I was listening to a Boss Babe podcast this week and I wrote down this quote. I'm going to read it. It's related to trends. AI will replace imitators. So if you're building your business by rephrasing what others say or jumping on all the trends, modeling others without fully understanding the strategy behind them, AI is probably doing that better. So if we want to build a brand that people are going to talk about, that they're going to remember, that they're going to trust, that they're going to, like, you're the go-to no matter what, we don't need to chase trends. And that should, like you just said, take so much pressure off because, like, we made this decision in our business, I don't know, a year ago. We're like, we're not going to do a trend unless we planned it 30 days prior, which means what? You're probably not doing any trends.
Yeah.
And we might do like simple like phrases in our like Friday catchy post or whatever, but we're not like taking hours out of our week to stop, plan a trend, record it. I mean, like the thing that drives me the most insane about this is you just see it over and over and over.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't speak to your values or the way you do business or your client experience. I will only do a trend if it directly aligns with my personal brand. So like I should have done a Love Island one. I watch Love Island. I talk about it in my stories. It could have been kind of funny and light and whatever. I meant to theme my Modern Agent Confidential email last week to that, but with Henry being sick, it got all messed up. So anyways, I like, I just don't do it. Like, and if there's something you really love or that is a part of your brand, like reality TV or wine or whatever, do one once in a while that kind of feels
Yeah.
fun and light and you enjoy it, right? You're not just doing it because we're like, what's this week trending, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, that doesn't fit real estate. If I was a seller looking for an agent and talk about being professional, that's not going to be like, oh, I need to hire them. What's going to make me hire you is I feel like we can connect. I feel like I can relate to you. I feel like I can trust you. I feel like I can talk to you. That's not going to be done through trends. It's going to be done through probably email, because people will say things like, okay, should I even post on my feed anymore? We just got this question in Marketing Therapy Thursday. Like, I get more engagement in my stories. And my advice to that is I want you to think about your stories, or your feed is like your storefront. So like someone's walking by, because they find you through a reel, they find you through a local post, and they're going to be like, okay, do we want to go inside? Yes or no? Because there's like a quick decision of, do I want to tap follow? Do I want to learn more? And your stories are like walking inside a little bit. Like, okay, what is this? What is the store all about? What is this account all about? And they get the feel for like, what is it like here? And then they decide to click follow. So like your feed is still important because that's like you're getting people in the door. You're getting people interested. But your stories are where the warm people are that are engaging with you. Stories are more engaging because someone's coming in the store to say, I want to know more. I want to see what you have. I want to like have a conversation. So that makes sense, right? So we don't want to abandon our feed, but we know that our stories are that warm nurture spot. Now imagine taking your stories and once a week you talk about how someone could then get on your email list, or they're going to get an even better piece of content from you that does everything we just talked about, that doesn't require chasing a trend or being on social media every single day with a new post. Like, it just more so requires you to show up in their inbox and continue building trust. Knowing like, yes, your feed is still a place that needs to be nurtured, but your stories are like the more of that conversion place to get people on your email list. And the real conversion is what I'm getting at, is going to happen in your email list. So if you're like pumping out trends and pumping out reels, you're like, but I'm not getting anyone to actually hire me or refer me. Look at, like, take a step back from what you're doing and think, okay, how could I be a little more intentional? Like, maybe your real call to action is to get on your email list, or your story call to action is to get on your email list. Not like a direct, do you want to buy a house today? Right? Like, no one's again scrolling Instagram thinking like, I want to buy a house today, or I need to find my realtor right now. Like, they're just like, okay, another email example I want to share. Kayla and I just signed up for a challenge together through something else. And I kept forgetting about it because I would always see like the post for it or the ad for it or whatever when I was on social media. Well, I was on social media like in line at the grocery store, or like while my son was playing in the background for a minute, or like really quick before I made dinner, and I would like keep forgetting to do it. And I was like, you know what they didn't do? They didn't send emails, because like that's where I would have been like, okay, well, now I'm in my inbox. Now it's time to sign up. I can come back to this. When you open Instagram and you see something that you're like, oh, I want to look at that, and then it refreshes and it's gone.
So
Makes me
frustrating.
so mad.
Yes.
That it like happens. So like you can't expect these heavy conversions directly on Instagram.
Right.
Like, yes, they can happen for sure, mostly from your stories. But if we want like serious conversions, it's going to happen on your email list. And that's why we keep talking about this. Like, we're not just doing this for fun. Like, it's such a crucial piece. And I, even with these people who are like very talented, I'm like, they could use some help with their email. Because that's how I would have remembered to sign up initially. So it's like, how can we work, again, going back to your quote, work smarter, not harder, and know the things that move the needle that we can focus our time on and energy on, that aren't trying to keep up with everyone else on Instagram.
Absolutely. A lot of this brings me back to the episode. What episode number was it, when it was about like your plan for consistency over the summer? Okay, it was episode 22, your summer real estate marketing plan for ultimate consistency and growth. This is a great one to go back and listen to, even though we're already like almost through the summer season. But it's a really good way to go back and listen to, because it's really all about like paring down your goals and like only prioritizing the things that matter the most. But one of the quotes that we mentioned in there that I've actually had on my sticky note all of this time, that not sticky anymore, so now it's just sitting on my desk. But it is, and I think it might be James Clear, but it's reduce the scope, stick to the schedule. If you want to make content and marketing and your business a little easier right now, maybe you just have too much on your plate. Maybe you're just overwhelmed, or maybe you're just hot. Like, maybe you're just a person that's like, I can't take this boob sweat anymore. I can't take like my glasses fogging up every time I go outside. Like, and you just like, you need to give yourself a little bit of breathing room. Then reduce the scope. Okay. Don't put so many things on your marketing plate right this minute. Only put the things on there that are actually going to move the needle, like one post, like a story, like your email. Okay. Then just stick to the schedule. Okay. I don't care if it feels like you are literally like clawing your way towards the finish line this last part of summer. Like, that is what's going to get you to a place when you get to fall and all of a sudden you look back and you're like, I'm so thankful that I stuck with it. Because now, guess what? I've got 3 people calling me saying they're ready for a house or whatever. And I'm sorry. Yes, those people can come from random places, but it's a full circle thing, right? Like, our clients are not always coming directly from Instagram because they searched a hashtag and they found us. They're probably coming from somewhere, like I've shared some of mine before, like the people that messaged me out of the blue. We also had some mutual friends. There's also some like other places where our paths would have crossed. I didn't know who they were, but they knew enough about me and they'd heard enough about me that they knew they trusted me and they knew they wanted me to work with them. That's how it's going to work for you guys too. So reduce the scope, stick to the schedule, take a few deep breaths, but you have to make a decision. And like, if you don't make that decide once decision today of like the thing that you're going to do to get to fall and not look back with regret, basically the decision will already have been made for you and it's not going to be one that you like. So like, you have to make that decision for yourself. And I know I say this all the time, but like, no one else woke up this morning thinking to themselves, I wonder how I can make Chelsea's business grow. Like that's on you. You're the only one that woke up on this lovely
Well, we
Tuesday
kind of wake
morning
up thinking that
we,
about them.
we wake up thinking about our members for sure. But yeah, like we're not thinking like no one else in your
The
area,
people
no one else.
hiring you aren't waking up thinking that.
No, they're not like, man, I should hire her to help her. Like, that's not what they're concerned about. So you have to take the bull by the horns a little bit here and make it happen for yourself.
I think the one thing we didn't talk about a lot is also Instagram stories and how that's such a huge piece to making this easy and also very effective. Now, I will say to get people to watch your stories, that's where your feed comes in, right? Because like if you're never posting and you're only posting stories, you're going to be limited on who's seeing those stories. But I think like bringing people behind the scenes of your day in your stories, if Instagram stories weren't a thing, I don't think I would love Instagram. Like it is one of my most favorite ways to show up because it allows us to get in those conversational moments. Like people are very silently scrolling. Where half the content you see is from people you don't know. You're like, haha, funny, or send this to my friend, or like my friend sends me so many things. Like I have to like wait and like I bulk catch up. Like I batch consume her content that she sends me. And it's like hilarious, right? But it's so mindless. And we have to remember like that's how people are consuming. But in our stories, we just get a little bit deeper, like a little bit like, oh, like that's what they're eating for dinner. Oh, that they're at that event. They're like, there's Chelsea, getting her vegetables from her garden. This is not me. This is a faux Chelsea. Anyways, but I think like leveraging that too and knowing like if you have something you want someone to know, like you're like, oh, I wish like people knew this about real estate, or like someone asked me this question today and I wish more people knew the answer. I wish more people knew what was possible. Like get on your stories and share it as a story. Like just start there. It does not need to be this like completely mapped out, perfect piece of content. Just like simply share it in your stories. You're going to have less people see it than if you potentially did a reel, but the people seeing it are your warm people. They're already warmed up. They know you, they follow you, they like you, they trust you. And that's a place to just like let them kind of get a little bit deeper, take that next step with you. And what I would do every week is have this repeatable, again, this is getting into that consistent thing that you do every single week, a repeatable phrase that you use, or a repeatable like, maybe every Wednesday you share like a behind the scenes day, and somewhere throughout that day you pop in like hey, if you're ready to take that or to start the conversation about selling, if you're ready to like come up with your slogan of what you're going to say, if you're ready for this, like here's your next step. And it could be like for you to book a mini consult, to book a coffee buyer consultation or something, and like let them know like here's what it looks like, and like list out like we meet at a coffee shop, it's 30 minutes, I answer these questions, I send you a buyer questionnaire, whatever it is. Give them a little one slide pop of what that thing is, and then invite them to take action by dropping their email in a question sticker box, by checking yes on a poll, something super easy, low barrier entry, and let them take that next step with you very, very simply. But do it every week. Repeat it every Wednesday. Repeat it like it might feel redundant to you, but remember, we're consuming social media in the midst of a million other things, in the midst of I may be on my phone while I'm watching The Summer I Turned Pretty and Henry wakes up and now I'm totally lost what I was doing on my phone, right? Or you get on your app and you're going to look something up and now you're like a rabbit hole deep in reels about like wine jokes. I don't know. Like it's just, we can't expect people to see something once and remember it. So like your repetition through a signature series, which just means posting something of the same topic once a week, the same story splash of how to work with you once a week, over and over and over, people are going to remember. People are going to know how to talk about your business because you're training them on what to say about you. You're training them that at dinner with their friends, if a topic comes up about real estate. I mean, how many times are you out and you overhear people talk about real estate? I swear it's every time I go out.
All the time. Yeah.
Every time. It's such a big topic. But I never heard someone say like, oh my God, like this is the best agent ever, because their agent probably isn't doing anything to stand in front of them or to make them something to talk about, right? Like we don't want you to just follow a checklist of here's how to use Instagram as a real estate agent. We want you to be the agent people are talking about at dinner. We want you to be the agent people are talking about on the golf course. The one that people are saying like, did you see Chelsea's email? Did you see or her stories or whatever, right? And that's never going to happen if your feed is strictly real estate graphics. It's not going to happen if you never show up in your stories, and it's not going to happen if you don't send emails. So with all of that being said, this can look a lot easier than you're probably making it if you scale it back. What was the quote you just said? Now I can't think of it.
What quote? What did I
From
say?
James Clear or whatever.
Oh, reduce the scope and stick to the schedule.
Reduce the scope and stick to the schedule. Like have your go-to schedule, cancel out all the noise, which I know is hard, but do it for a set amount of time. Like you have to take this seriously if you truly want this to grow your business. And if you truly want it to look easy, you have to like stick to it for 30 days or 60 days, put it on your actual calendar, like just like any other appointment, and stick to those things. And then you analyze and maybe tweak. But you can't just do like a week. Like if you do it week at a time and you're like, oh, totally changing my plan every single week, you're not going to make enough of an impact to look at patterns that are going to tell you what you should maybe do more of. Like if you posted that story 4 weeks in a row and on week 4, you finally have someone say like, yes, I'm ready to start the conversation. It might take 4 weeks, right? Like no one might say that on weeks 1, 2, and 3. But when you keep doing it, someone's going to be ready. Someone's going to be like, okay, yeah, I am. Or they're going to see that one extra thing that convinces them or reminds them or persuades them to take that next step.
Yeah. That's such a great way to wrap this up, because next week's episode is all about what to post when you have no clients, because there's a lot we can post, but I feel like that is a big stumbling block for people. But for right now, I think this was a really great episode. I hope that this feels like a breath of fresh air. I feel like that's like the common theme that we hear from people, is that all of this feels like a breath of fresh air because it's the opposite of what everyone else is telling them. But it doesn't have to be as complicated as what we're making it. So take a deep breath, find that one path that makes you feel like you're in alignment with your personality, with your bandwidth, with your scope, and then stick to that schedule. And I think that you'll get results and still be able to enjoy your summer.
Awesome. I love this conversation so much. Thank you guys for listening, and we will see you next Tuesday.
Bye.
I'm so glad we got to hang out today. If you're as sad as I am that our time is up, I've got good news. There are a couple of different ways we can keep the conversation going.
First, follow us on Instagram at Modern Agent Marketing Girls and introduce yourself in the DMs. Also, we always have a free Modern Agent resource available, so check out today's show notes for the goods.
And finally, hang out with other go-to real estate girls like you and finally create a marketing plan that works when you join Modern Agent Social Club. All the details are in today's notes.
XOXO, the Marketing Girls.